What's going on, everybody? Fancy Knowledge R4. Now, I want to talk about this topic came up on ESPN about Demetrius Andrade. For those who don't know, Demetrius Andrade's 154 WBO champion. He won that title 2013, I think it was, a split decision versus Vanis Manarosian. I personally think that Manarosian won the fight, but it is what it is. So basically, he's on the verge of getting his belt taken, stripped. It'll be vacated, whatever the case may be. For the simple fact he hasn't been fighting, he hasn't been defending his title, obviously. His last fight was June 2014 against Brian Rose, C-level type fighter. A fighter that got knocked out by a guy who has 47 losses. That's right, 47 losses. He knocked out a guy that got knocked out. It wasn't like, when Brian Rose got knocked out by the guy with 47 losses, which was Max Maxwell, another British fighter. It wasn't like, but it wasn't a long time ago. It was a long time ago, I'm sorry, when he got knocked out by that guy. But regardless of the fact, he beat a guy that got beaten by a guy with 47 losses. And since that win from Andrade in June 2014 against Brian Rose, he hasn't been fighting. But Brian Rose has been. Brian Rose is about to go on 3 fights since he lost to Andrade, and Andrade hasn't done shit. I personally think they should take his belts. They've been too much nice to him because according to the WBO rules, a fighter must defend his belt within a 9-month period. It's been 13 months. And between those 13 months, it's not like he's being docked, because nobody's really docking him. And on top of that, he's really not, to me, he's not important at all in the boxing community at all. He's just the name that people want to see him against, but he's not doing shit. Like, he's not fighting nobody, he's not doing nothing. Just like you guys could hold accountable Andre Ward for being very inactive, we need to do the same thing with Andrade and every other boxer. So, with that being said, man, I think Andre just needs to start fighting somebody, And like I said, it's not like he's not getting offers, because he's getting offered left and right. I'm going to leave the link in the description box for you guys to read what I'm talking about. He had an opportunity to fight Matt Korobov for the WBO middleweight title. And if he would have done that and beat Matt Korobov, he would have been in the Triple G sweepstakes, and he could probably would have beat him, or he would have had a chance to fight him, because Triple G is trying to get unification. He's trying to get all the belts at middleweight. He's trying to do what Brian Hopkins did. And Andrade could have been a potential to ruin those plans for Triple G, but he decided to stay at 154. He turned that down. He turned down Jamel Charlo offer, which he was supposed to fight, and he didn't. WBO been send him letters saying, "Yo, what you gonna do with your belt?" They gave him even a voluntary defense, and he can't make a fight. So I don't want to hear this bullshit about, try to put saying that Canelo's ducking him and all that. Like, he don't deserve no fucking Canelo fight now. How you deserve the Canelo fight when you haven't been fighting, you haven't made no noise at 154, like zero. You won one belt that you should have not won, but you won it, whatever, okay. And then you had one defense, and then since that 13 months, you haven't been doing shit. And between those 13 months, they've been offering you fights, and WBO been very nice to you. Always emailing your promoter saying what you're gonna do with your belt, and you don't do shit. Like, come on, get the fuck out of here. Like, you know. So WBO should take his belts. You know. Not recently, he said that he's trying to make an offer for Anthony Mundine. 154 contender at from Australia. He was supposed to go to his hometown, and it's back and forth. One promoter saying that they was never offered that, and then another one said that they didn't like the terms. Brian Rose. I mean, not Brian Rose. I'm sorry. Mundine. They, according to them, they didn't like the terms. And whatever, it's a whole bunch of bullshit between it. I don't want to get into it. All I know is Demetrius Andrade been inactive for 13 months. They're going to take his belt, and they should, because according to what I read, and you guys got to read it too, you just got to click on the link in the description. You'll see what I'm talking about. He was offering fights. They've been very nice to him. They can always email him, his promoter, saying what you got to do, what you got to do, what you got to do. He had supposedly a Showtime deal, and I don't see him a Showtime deal. Yeah, and Steven Espinoza in Showtime was like trying to get him to fight Laura, and I guess that's why Laura fought Ishe Smith. So that could have been him. So he had a chance. Like, come on, like you could have got the belt at middleweight, beating the WBO middleweight champion. You could have fought Karabov. The WBO gave you the options to do all these things, and you're not doing shit. You're not doing nothing. So I don't want to hear that people ducking you. Like, I don't even want to see you with Canelo at this time. Like, if I was Canelo, I'd be like, well, why am I fighting this guy? Like, what the fuck has he been doing? Nothing. Plus, anyways, Canelo's going to fight Cotto now, so so I don't want to hear these Demetrius Andrade fans thinking he's all that when he really ain't. At least right now he ain't. He's and like I said, I'm not hating on him. I just think he needs to be active so he could be in the picture of all these good fighters coming out right now. Especially at 154. So you had opportunity to fight all these guys and you didn't. Brian Rose had 3 fights since losing to Andrade. And how come he's having 3 fights? Like, he could have fought all these guys. Take care, man. I don't know.